seen nobody like this. You ain't seen nobody like this. You hear my sound all over town singing. Whoa. You ain't seen nobody like this. You ain't seen nobody like this. You hear my sound all over town singing. Whoa. I think there's something in the water. If you wanna take a sip, but be careful what you wish for. The faint of heart can't handle it. Everybody wants a piece of someone else's prize, but it ain't free, it don't come cheap. Only the strongest will survive. You ain't seen nobody like this.
Good evening, SA Soccer Roundtable fans here. My name is Harry. Joining me tonight, we got the normal cast here. Rafa, how are you?
Pretty good. How are you?
Since you were wearing the glasses, I decided to put my glasses on for that here. Royce, how are you?
I'm feeling left out, apparently, of the whole. I have contacts in, so this is not a good look.
I don't.
That hurts. Doing all right. Viva night it's a lot better than I thought it was going to be. It was really cool, and the result was even better.
I got to give it to the SAFC media team, Preston, Luis, and I'm drawing a blank on the guy that does the videos here. I apologize. Thomas. They absolutely killed it all week long.
100%.
Bringing back
chef's kiss.
Bringing back Perusa, which was kind of unexpected. I know Rafa kind of mentioned it last week, and I was like, yeah, right. I'd love to have him, don't get me wrong.
They just signed another center back. Why would they sign another player? 27's bigger than the roster was supposed to be, and bam. Awesome.
Bam. Hey, we got a surprise. Really? So
what a surprise it was.
It was a great surprise. So it was a fun weekend. Going to the game, I won't lie to you, was a little bit challenging coming from the west side here because we had major thunderstorms. But by the time you got over to
downpours,
by the time you got over to Toyota Field, it was great. Sorry, my co-host is wanting in.
Yeah, I kept tweeting at everybody, seeing because it was like nonstop raining over here, and my wife was even like, "Why are we even going to try to go?" And I was like, let me tweet. Let me see how it is over there. And everybody over there is like, yeah, it hasn't rained in like 6 hours over here. What are you talking about? Are you crazy? It's like, okay, well, game on. Let's go.
But yeah,
go ahead. I got caught on the rain picking up the Viva SA jersey at the soccer factory.
Oh man.
Yeah, it was bad enough to where you had three sets of drivers on the road here. You had the guys that were still going Mach 80. You had the people that were going 45 with the flashers on. And then you had me that was like, okay, hey, it's rain. I was going, 55, 60, safe, distance. I was supposed to go to a soccer factory and pick up the scarves, but I couldn't get over in a safely manner. And so I just like, I'll get it next week. But no, it was a fun time. The tailgates, Crocketeers, Mission City, and 210 Alliance all had great tailgates. The beer at at the Crocketeers, both of them were outstanding. The Chinese at 210 Alliance from was it 210 Walk, I believe it was. For that here. Or was it the Walk of San Antonio?
Walk. Yeah, no.
It was Walk something.
I'll look it up. Keep going.
So, but no, it was like the tailgate was good. Then you went into the stadium and, they had the Viva flags, which I'm a little bit bitter that they didn't have on sale, but I guess that'll be something that'll be coming out. Rafa even noticed the corner flags were Viva. They posted the picture of
the food was from the Walk of Texas.
The Walk of Texas.
The nets.
The nets were cool. The flags were cool.
The magnets.
Really hoping.
Oh, yeah. The magnets. I normally only get through, but I got the 2 sets in that because it was just me and AJ that came in and had 4 seats. I was like, look, I got 4 seats here. Can I get the 2 other magnets? He's like, yeah, here. So I was like, thank you.
I only got 2 just because I think everybody else needed some. 2
I'm greedy.
2 is enough.
I'm greedy. So.
But I really do hope. I really do hope they do a flag for the next Viva night. That'd be awesome.
But yeah, the bathrooms were all open. You know, the concessions are getting a lot better, a lot more mainstreamed here. So hats off. Not only, you know, I know we gave the credits to, the media team here, but hats off to them. It was a hell of a performance all week long. And, I was joking around with them that, they had to be excited for game day because it was probably going to be slower than the rest of their week here.
And they sold it out, which is another big thing. It was a sellout. That is, man, in this environment, to get people excited to get out and to go somewhere, you'll love to see it. You'll love to see it.
Well, it's it's an entertaining match. I'll give a credit to Birmingham Legion. It was a fun match. 2 evenly matched teams. I think the better team won. Sorry, Kaler from Hammering Down. I know he thought otherwise, but I thought that I thought it was a fun match to be at. Although I was telling Rafa, it wasn't one of those matches that went quickly. Like there's some matches that fly by. This one here just. And I think it had to do with, the injuries right at the start of the second half. I'm not saying the ref did a poor job, but it was a little inconsistent.
I'm not saying it was bad. I'm saying it was terrible.
He did a poor job.
It was worse.
I'm not a ref, but I was when you got player A doing something, like how Doyle didn't get a card for all the hugging, I don't know. And yet some of the little stuff they got called.
A lot of professional fouls on Liam Doyle, but you know what happened was Liam Doyle did it the first. This is what makes a smart player. This is why Liam Doyle, possibly one of the more underrated players this season, great signing last season apparently. He did it once and the ref was like, yeah, that's fine. And he's like, oh, okay, I'm going to do it over and over again. It's like some of the greater pitchers, what you do in the beginning of the game is you throw a fastball just off the plate to see if the umpire is going to call it. And if they call it, I'm living there because it's a ball. It's not a strike. But if you're going to call it, I'm throwing it there all dang day. That's how you do it.
Yeah, but to me, that was the biggest thing that I saw here was it was just like, how did Liam Doyle escape that game without a yellow card? Because I think I told Rafa 15, 20 minutes in, I was like, Doyle's getting the card. He's asking for a card. He's going to do it until he gets that card, and then he'll back off. And I think they switched Junior Fleming from his side to the other side.
They put him in the middle. Yeah, they pretty much just put him in the middle as another number 10 next to their 10 to try to go through the midfield, which is an interesting idea by the Birmingham coaching staff. I'll put it that way.
He just got tired of getting hugged.
There is a lot of discussion on Hammering Down in the Legion fan base. It almost seems that like and I don't mean this as a disrespect to Coach Powell, but where he's got him to this level, but for whatever reason, he can't take that next step. And I think that's where the Legion fans are because their coach has been there for 3 years. And you can see the talent that they have, but there's just something that's a little bit missing, with it here. So, but before we get full into San Antonio FC Birmingham, let me just quickly touch base on the San Antonio Athenians. They hosted Central Texas Hornets, and they won 6-1. It was actually a fairly close game through pretty much the first half here. Central Texas Hornets got on the board first on an own goal where the goalie kicked it for the Athenians. It bounced off another Athenians player, and it bounced back straight into the goal. So it was just an unlucky goal in the 13th minute. The Athenians didn't score till the 37th minute. Then they got an own goal in the 39th minute. And then in the second half,
dominated that second
they
half.
tied it on, and Miss Borden, who was on with us, ended up getting a brace in the 64th and 76th minute. So where the Athenians are in the standings here. Hold on, let me get this readjusted here. They're actually tied for first with Side FC 92. They're in second place due to goal difference. Side FC's got 12 goals scored, none allowed. The Athenians are in second place. Only 1 goal allowed plus 8. And then Wilco, Central Texas Hornets are in the bottom. Lone Star and Backcountry still haven't.
Very early though.
Still very, very early, although it is a quick season. So that's one thing
Very
to keep
true.
in mind with the Athenians and UWS is that it is a very quick season.
It's very early, but they're already a fifth through the season. So yeah, grain of salt on both ends, whether it's too early or it's just the right amount of time to look at standings. So
yeah,
good job, Athenians.
But no, if you get an opportunity and you can't make it out to Toyota Field, please go out to Soccer Central. They do a great job. They have barbecue. You can also watch it on my Kuju, which is what I did. I'll give the Athenians credit, and I tweeted it out on mine. You have the full version, but then they had about a 10-15 minute version where you could just watch the highlights. For both teams for here. So the presentation that the Athenians doing is great, just like they always have. They've moving over to with the Juventus ownership. Like I said here, as far as for the quality on social media and what they're putting out, still outstanding and still class of the UWS for that here. So we're gonna have we got the post game for Coach Marcina. We're gonna play this here. I think it's about 4 or 5 minutes for his comments, and then we'll come back and discuss the game.
In the first minute there, how does that sort of change the feel of a match when you get on the board that early?
Yeah, I mean, obviously goals change games. That fueled our fire. We, especially the first half, were excellent in our pressing actions, very organized, cohesive. Won the ball in a lot of good spots. I think we were unfortunate not to get a few more goals. And at the same time, certain individuals, especially Matt, made some big saves, and some other players made some good saves in good plays in key moments. So overall, good collective performance tonight.
We saw Jose Gallegos get his first start, and he had a hand in that first scoring play. What was your impression of his performance overall in this one?
Yeah, as we all know, Jose is a special player. He's still not at full fitness. We had glimpses of tonight of how special he is. And we're excited when he's fully fit, and he'll continue to contribute. Tonight was all around a special night. I'm so proud of everyone. We played in front of a sold out crowd. Our fans were amazing, brought so much energy. We got to, celebrate a city tradition and Viva night. That piece was amazing as well. The front office did an amazing job. The players were committed. Again, we always ask to be focused, demonstrate intensity, and be resilient for 95. Actually, today was like 98 or 99 minutes. And they did it, and they earned the result.
Yeah, Perusa comes in there in the second half and finds a goal right away. What did that do for you guys?
Yeah, again, you score goals, it lifts the energy. For any striker, when you're scoring goals, the confidence it rises. So I'm very proud for Jordan, his first game with us and his first goal. So we expect more from him in the future.
Yeah, what does he bring to your team? What sort of standout traits? Maybe something separate from what you guys already had in the mix.
Yeah, I mean, he's another one that's another big boy up front. We have a few big boys. We're still waiting on Justin to recover from injury. That it's another key piece. We have a number of players that are out, unfortunately, right now that are key pieces, important pieces to this roster. So we're excited. And again, Jordan everybody got a glimpse of him last year and how effective he was for the SAFC jersey, and he'll continue to be effective.
You guys looked a little bit different tonight in terms of the alignment with the 3-4-3. How would you sort of rate the effectiveness of the tactical changes that you made?
Yeah, for us, again, it's every game you go in to the game with a different strategy. We felt the guys executed what we asked of them. So I'm incredibly proud of them. That's always the intention. They were fully committed to doing it. And again, us, it's not so much about formations. It's about implementing our principles irrespective of how we shape.
Coach, you mentioned missing some key pieces to your roster there, obviously with injuries and things like that. It's no secret your defense is one of the key parts of the team that is missing right now because of the injuries. But you're on the winning side in a lot of these matches, except for last weekend. So, what does this say about your team's ability to adapt to what's coming, injuries or not?
Yeah, I think we've said it from day one. We don't make excuses. We embrace challenges, embrace adversity. That's never going to change. We say that in wins. We say that if in ties or losses. It's we go out every game. We compete to win. That's always the objective. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes it doesn't.
Thank you to Preston and the SAFC communications team for sharing the post game with us. Interviews with that. I think there's a lot of good nuggets in there. So we'll start with you, Royce. Your thoughts on what the coach said post game?
I think my favorite part of that whole thing was it seemed like we had to play 8 or 9 minutes after the 90, which was 100% correct because the what was it 7 minutes? It was
7
supposed
was
to
announced,
be.
yes.
And then Birmingham got a free. Oh no, it wasn't a free kick. It was a goal kick. They kicked it out of bounds, and the center ref turned and looked at the fourth official and put up a number 1, and everybody just kind of did the what are you talking about? And that was the ref. I'm going to add on 1 more minute just because I feel like adding 1 more minute. It's like the 7's gone. It's already 7 minutes, and not a lot really happened. There were a couple injuries, but there were substitutions right afterwards. It's incredible how you get the 7 out of that, but I'm guessing where he got out of it was Gallegos laid on the ground for a couple times and didn't go on the sideline. Same thing with Gleedle, but that wasn't
Gleedle
7
went
minutes
down
worth.
pretty
That was like 3 or 4.
Yeah,
That wasn't 7. Yeah, that was not 7 minutes, or excuse me, 8 or 9, because it was 9 minutes because it was 98, 50 something when he finally blew the final whistle. That was ridiculous, man. But Alan Marcina is a great company man because he doesn't give a lot up and he's very Popovich with his answers.
Mm-hmm.
How did that tactically help you? Players did good. How does Jordan Perusa help you? He's a big boy up front. It's going to help.
I enjoy that though. That was my favorite part. Was
it's very Spursy. It's very Spursian,
yes.
And I think that's why the Spurs organization really hired Alan Marcina because he doesn't give a lot. He's fiery when he needs to be, but whenever they ask you for an answer, he's going to do the lawyerly yes or no.
He's a smart guy.
Yeah, not wrong. Not wrong.
Rafa, your thoughts?
He didn't give too much away as far as, I guess, too much credit of the formation change. He's like, I just changed it, whatever. We did what we had to do.
It doesn't matter what we're in.
What formation? It doesn't matter what formation. We're still gonna beat you. And I mean, that's the right attitude to have. You know, I think with I guess the players that we have, we could play 2 or 3 different. Maybe up to 3 or 4 different formations. But I can understand especially with injuries and so forth, he had to really kind of toy with this. But he must have seen something that from what Birmingham was doing from the last game. Say, hey, let me change this up. I think we can exploit this.
Or RGV, yeah.
I want that too. And then they're gonna get theirs on Saturday too. But
right,
I guess he saw in Birmingham, let's say, hey, let's get. I got the players. Let's see what they can do. Can they adapt? Can this take this away from us? And pretty much it was a wide open game. I know I was mentioning Harry. We had a lot of space. There's a lot of space out there. A lot different from the last game. So, and I think when we play with a lot of space, we do more damage. We're more the game flows a lot better for us. I think when we're like something compact, we just can't really do anything. So this was a big change from this game to the last game.
It's almost like they were watching our podcast last week. You know, just
Strange.
just saying, you know, a lot of the
Yeah.
ideas that you had floated out there.
You can sit on the
Rafa
bench,
was
you know?
like, "Hey, we kind of talked about." Royce
Yeah.
talked about that, so for that here. So let's start earlier in the week, and I know we've already kind of talked about it. Jordan Peruza's back on loan from Toronto FC, filling what me and Rafa thought was kind of a hole, was that third striker up top that I think was missing with Justin Dillon still being out. And I think it was on Instagram, Royce, that Justin posted a picture.
He took a picture of himself going back to a physical therapy company, and it looked like an airbed or a hyperbaric chamber, which typically you do that for a muscle injury. So it seems like it's a muscle injury, which those are. Sometimes muscle injuries are weird, man. Sometimes you hurt yourself and you wake up and you're like, oh yeah, I forgot I've hurt myself. Let's get back to it. Or 6 weeks later, it gets still hurt. So you never know. Hopefully Justin's healthy. He's just doing that for the last little bit of his rehab, but man, you never know. And it's tough to see because I'm sure this lineup could really benefit from his play.
Yeah, so supposedly not supposedly, he's comes from an MLS team, Seattle Sounders. So I know he was supposed to be one of the big parts, and he still may be, but early on, unfortunately, he's not here. And Coach and Tim Holt, and they went out, and I got to give them credit. I think Royce touched on it earlier that usually they carry a 23 to 24 man roster. I think they're 26, 27 now.
Yeah, what they said before the season was 25 is their goal. That's what we're going to have because we're not sure if we're going to be in the Open Cup. And now they're at 27. So
and they're bringing in quality. It's
very much so.
That to me, tells me that hey, they're not settling, just to be in the top four. They're wanting to go far. And they want to be at the top of the table to be able to host playoff games. If San Antonio is able to make it that far. So welcome back, Jordan. Rafa, your thoughts on Jordan coming back since you kind of called it, you put it out there, and it came through. So hats off to you, man.
100% your call, Rafa. Good job.
I think he was just the perfect person to bring in this situation. We needed another striker, especially now, with Nathan going down with that card, it kind of affected us a bit. I think that affected us the last game. But come this game coming up, come pick your poison wherever, we have three forwards that can bring it, and try to double team one of them. You're going to get hurt by the other one. But this was a great pickup. This is going to pay dividends in the end, especially like right now. I know we're going through with the injury bug, but towards the end, later on in the season, we're going to be a lot fresher because we're going to be a little bit deeper, and we're going to hopefully get into that run where we can get that top spot, so we can, like you mentioned, Harry, get those host some of those playoff games. I think playing at home is really key for us because I think that even like I said with the crowd, they're feeding off the energy. And you can see that they're having fun out there playing, there in front of everyone, and it just opens up a lot of the game. So I'm glad he's back. He's going to do a lot of great things like he did last. He's already scored 4 goals in 6 games that he's
4
played.
goals in 6 games. Patino's got 5 and 4.
Mm-hmm.
And Nathan, I don't think's hit it as of yet, but he's had a lot of opportunities. Royce, what I like about it is that I think all 3 of them bring something different, to the table. I'll toss this out to either you, Rafa, or Royce. But what does each forward bring, talking about, the top three, Nathan, Patino, and Perusa, what do they do different from each other that kind of helps feed off for that here? And if you were to pick two to start, obviously Patino, I think, locked in, but if you were to pick two, who's the two that you're starting with?
For next week's game, I'm actually that's kind of what I was thinking about right now. Who would I start if the injuries are, when we'll talk about those in a little bit, the injuries that happen, but with the three forwards that I think you have to start, Nathan, what he did in this match is he really connected the midfield and the defense with the attack, and that was huge with his dribbling. He was direct when he needed to be. He dribbled around. That first goal really came from his skill with that back heel. He sucked in their right back and their right center back, and he back heeled, and that passed up two players right there. Gallegos got it. He was basically one-on-one with the back line, dribbled around them, comes off of Kavita, boo, and then the goalkeeper touches it, and then Patino hits the loose ball in. A lot that really started with Nathan. Gallegos continued it up, and then Patino finished it. If Gallegos is not available, I would put Nathan in that kind of middle, almost that 10 spot. Like I said, this formation was pretty much a 5-2-1-2. He would be in that one. I would put Nathan there, and then I'd have Perusa and Patino ahead of him. I think Nathan linking, like I said, linking the defense in the midfield with the attack, that was huge in this match. And they got a lot of opportunities just through him and his dribbling and his ability to do so. And if you have Patino and you have Perusa ahead, I'm not predicting a bloodbath, but it could come down to that depending on how good Tyler Derrick is going to be this coming Saturday. And he's a really good goalkeeper, so we'll see.
Robert brings up a great point. He's our PC, the Patino. He's our PC of the year here. To be fair, I don't think he deserved the one in this match. No. I don't think he did at all. It was a confrontation, and Kavita, boo, went after him and headbutted him and ended up with the yellow card. I don't remember a crowd being that.
Oh no, I remember it a few times.
But for that long though, because it was the whole game that they gave it to him. Because
typically those fouls don't happen until toward the end of the match. I remember, man, it may have been 2016, it may have been 2017. It was one of the first seasons. I remember because I'm pretty sure it was 2016 because they were still Arizona United. You remember that fun? One of their center backs,
the Fat Rooney, Fat
Rooney. Yep, Fat Rooney. Good times. Hope you're doing all right, Luke. One of their center backs had an egregious foul on one of our players for a penalty, and it didn't get called, and it was just boo fest from then on. But typically those happen in the second half. That one happened in what, the 10th minute?
18th, so around there.
13th, 14th minute, yeah, somewhere around
exactly.
there. Yeah,
like that was early, and it was awesome. That's one of the things that makes me happy with the San Antonio crowd is that they're paying attention, they're intelligent, they know what's happening, and they're always aware. And every time Kavita, boo, touched the ball, he heard it, man, and it was awesome.
You could tell he didn't want the ball either.
No, we didn't.
You know, he was quickly getting rid of the ball.
Yeah.
So moving on, because we do have Ray coming on from South Texas Border Sports and down in the Valley coming on soon. He's actually in the waiting room chilling for the here. So thank you, Ray. Injuries. Dylan, Maloney, Axel were the three that we kind of knew about. Last minute game day surprise with Jasir Kamiri on the list here. So, Rafa, your thoughts on him missing?
We missed a Terminator. I think he would have done some damage, especially during that hit. But he would have.
Oh, can you imagine? Oh my God. Yeah, that's a good call. Oh my goodness, that would have been.
Yeah, he would have never touched Patino at all.
No,
Mary would have probably put that guy in his place. But I hope he's back for Saturday. But you know what? You got to give props to for someone just barely being signed, Varela's a very good defender.
Yeah, 100%.
I think he might be the steal of the free agency for USL.
Yeah.
Kudos to whoever the scout team. That guy can defend, and he's got great size. He can pass the ball well. I think last week, because it was his first game, it was just getting adjusted to the team, but he caught on quick, pretty much kind of similar to what Doyle catching on quick. I mean, I think once we're healthy with our defense, we're just loaded back there.
Yeah.
Any combination you have, I don't think anybody's gonna get by us. Imagine having a 4-back with Kamiri, Varela, Axel, and
well, I don't know if Axel's
just
coming back.
line them up right on the goal line. Line them up right on the goal line. It's like it's a wall.
Yeah, have all those 4 guys there going for the free kicks in the box.
Oh man.
But kudos to them. Like I said, I think Varela really. I think for the defense, he really shined on this game.
Yeah.
And
so did DePlane. DePlane looked really good as that center. He was a key cog. He was a center in the back 3, and he cleared everything. And the only time that he did not clear a ball was when it went over his head, and that ended up being the goal. And it was just a really good header that went across the mouth of the goal. He didn't quite get to it. Doyle kind of lost his man, which was number 11, their striker.
Nico Brett.
Brett, exactly, Brett. Yeah, their short striker, exactly. Which somehow they had a defensive midfielder. Their 6. I want to see their 6 and Solomon Asante lined up next to each other because I think they're both about 4'11". Very good soccer players. They're a lot better than I am, but they're not tall.
So the other injuries we have to talk about: Gleedle went out in the 52nd minute, and then Jose went out in the 54th minute for that here. So Gleedle's the one that has me worried. I think Jose kind of grabbed his hammy, and I think it was more precaution wise.
Did Jose grab his hammy, or was he looking at his ankle? Because I thought he had kind of hurt his ankle a little bit.
He pulled up his shorts.
So it was hamstring? Okay.
It looked like it was like a hamstring. Like he
might have came back a little too early. The reason I'm not that concerned with Jose, he may miss a game. It's very possible. He tried it out, and he didn't like it. And it wasn't something popped and I'm out, something pulled. It was, I'm not comfortable. I'm just going to sit down again. It wasn't.
Which is the smart thing to do.
Correct. Do not push it. You just came back from injury. Don't push it. You're fine.
Gleedle's the one that worries me. I'm not going to lie to you.
100%. 100%.
It was one of those. I don't think it was a contact thing here.
No, not
it
at
almost
all.
seemed like it was, kind of it's a lower leg. We know that, but
yeah.
To me, without having Connor, we need to have Gleedle back there. However, Lima stepped up really, really well.
Really well as a left back or the left wing back for sure. Lima did a hell of a job, and Lindley ended up being the right wing back and took the place of Gleedle, and he did a very manageable job out there as well. So kudos to both of those guys for really filling in spots. They're not. I don't know if they've ever played that position, but they filled in really well, and you could not tell that was not their not their natural position.
So, but then we've already talked about the lineup here. So anything more on Viva Night? I know we kind of touched on it at the start of the show because to me, I wanted to give credit to, Preston, Luis, and drawing the name.
Thomas.
I follow him.
Thomas Blakely
Blakely.
Let me fact check that.
No, it is Thomas. I know it is.
Okay.
They knocked it out of the park. I'm not going to lie to you. The whole SAFC. Before the match, I happened to get there early enough to where I saw Tim Holt. He came over. We chit chatted, and he said hi to AJ, which was really cool. And thank you, for coming out and acknowledging us. And out of your busy schedule, he spent 2 or 3 minutes with us. And
nice.
To me, that's something that San Antonio FC has always done well. is the
The
intermingling
availability.
with the fans and making you feel important. Even with guys like me that sometimes says things that I'm sure they would rather me not say for that, but they know I got their back. But final thoughts on the game. I know we're going to do the man of the match. Mine was DePlane. To me, I know PC's the captain, and I know Patino was a captain, but to me, DePlane, with his experience, with his versatility, is just, to me, I think we're a lot better with having him in the middle there. And then with Doyle and Varela and Jasir, I think as long as we have DePlane back there, I feel very, very confident for that here.
Agreed.
Robert, maybe Tim doesn't like you as much as he likes me. I'm just saying.
All you gotta do is go up to him and say hi, man. Tim's one of the most approachable people in professional sports for sure. Tim's a
Maybe
good
it's
dude.
something about you, and then something about
me. Robert, you can't mean mug him, dude.
Rafa, you're man of the match.
Actually, I'm gonna give it to Nathan. I think he really kind of set the tone of the game. He, helped create kind of a little spark for that first goal, but he was just like a man possessed that whole game, pushing forward, getting chances for Patino, and it was just I think he was out to kind of redeem himself from that red card. So I say he was my man of the match. Like I said, he did a great job up front.
And then Royce, your 3 stars. Since it is hockey playoffs, growing the beards.
Correct.
Thank you for the Avalanche for sweeping the Blues. Good job, Avalanche.
God damn it! I forgot that number.
You thought you were gonna let that slide.
You just completely derailed me. My 3 stars of the match. You suck. My 3rd star is definitely going to be Perusa for scoring on his debut. And I'll say this up front: Patino's not going to be one of my stars, but that's because of how good he's been the whole season. I just hope.
And he did miss a couple. He did miss a couple that I bet you if you asked him, he'd want to have those back.
Not wrong.
Nice bicycle
that happens. That happens. Oh my God, that would have been the goal. That would have been the goal. That would have been up for a Puskás award. Puskás, however you pronounce that. Good Lord, that assist. And then Nathan just.
I told Harry, all he needed to do was hit it on the ground because the goalie was already expecting up in the air. He had no chance to really dive for it.
Well, it was a split second. It was a split second thing. Like you can expect Patino to go, I'm gonna bicycle kick this assist right to Nathan's feet. Like you can expect that. But at the same time, man, if he would have finished that, good God, that would have been goal of the year or assist of the year at least. But my 3rd star of the night is going to be Perusa for scoring on his debut this season, not with the team, but this season. I mean, what can you say? Exciting signing and paid dividends immediately after 6 minutes being on the field. That's crazy. My 2nd star of the night's Matthew DePlane. He just held down that back line. He communicated well. He got over and helped when he needed to. He's just a beast back there. And my number 1 star of the night, Matthew Cardoni once again with that double save. Good Lord. Good. If that's not save of the week, if that's not save of the month, what are we doing here? That was insane. And it was awesome because it happened like 10 feet right in front of me because we sit right there. But good Lord, what a double save. That was some Dominic Hasek seats. That was some yeah, you're welcome. That was some Dominic Hasek stuff. What's funny is July 3rd when we go back to full capacity, we're gonna switch anyway. So I'm gonna enjoy it while I can. So for sure. So those are the final thoughts. Time to transition to next week. And with that, we're going to bring in Ray, who covers a team in the Valley, who had an unfortunate weekend or unfortunately opening against El Paso. You got luchoed, bro.
Once again, at least it wasn't 9 seconds this time. You guys did wait 40 seconds. But still
Oh man, Solniak.
Tyler wants that back here, Ray. How are you this evening?
Doing good. How about you guys?
We're doing better this week than we were last week. I won't lie to you.
3 points is nice.
Yeah.
So
3 points always helps the cause.
But like I said here, we are looking forward to the rematch because we ended up on the short end of the stick. And to be fair, RGV was the better team that night. No questions about it. They took it to San Antonio. I think most of the fan base was a little surprised just at the improvements that RGV has, because this isn't the same RGV of the last 2-3 years. This is a quality team, and they showed up. And at HEB Park, they got the result. They traveled to El Paso, and you could say we're a little bit unlucky because after the rest of the 89 minutes, they went toe to toe with El Paso Locomotive, and it was a 1-0 loss for them here, their first loss on the season here. So your thoughts on what went right and what went wrong with RGV and El Paso this past week?
I guess some of the things that went right for the Toros is that they finally got one of their main acquisitions back on the pitch in Juan Carlos Azócar. It was great to see him back in action. Definitely, that was one of the bright spots. Other than seeing Azócar, I would like to see a little bit just more fluidness from our defensive side. It just seems like they were pretty good throughout the match against El Paso. Thankfully, it was no more than one goal. Thankfully, because El Paso had their fair share of opportunities. I would just like to see them just tighten up a little bit and just avoid those early mistakes like the way it happened against El Paso. That would be another bright spot. Of course, the bad spots was that early distraction by Tyler Derrick, not seeing Lucha Solniak. Again, I mean, it just seems like that guy has like a paternity suit against RGV or something like that.
A contractual goal. Yeah.
Yeah, a contractual goal every time he sees RGV, something like that. I don't know if that's in the contract clause. I don't know, but that's just something that you just got to give it to him. Another bad thing was Elvis Ammo just losing his head.
Yeah.
Getting the two double yellows and the red card in the 80th.
That second yellow roll, that was at like 5 minutes from each other, the 2 yellows. That was
tense. He got his first yellow in the 70th, and he got the double second yellow in the 80th, and was escorted off.
I saw that second foul, and I was like, dude, you're on the yellow. What? Yeah, that was crazy. Ray, I have a question for you.
Yes.
As far as against SAFC, it really seemed like RGV favored that right side. They brought up their right back, and they had their right winger kind of attack our left back.
Yes.
It looks like in the El Paso game, when I looked at the highlights, they were really trying to attack through the middle. They didn't stay wide. They really tried to go right through the middle. Why do you think they try to do that against El Paso when they obviously favored one side against SAFC?
One of the things that Edson did bring up during the game, and I failed to mention it, was El Paso's playing pitch just isn't a soccer field. It's
a baseball field. That's 100% correct. Yeah, that makes sense.
Narrow.
And if were the right side they were attacking, would that have been the baseball diamond?
Yeah. And
and that makes sense.
And to be fair, I think this isn't the first time that Wilmer has tried this before, like in his first stint where he had to go play at Tulsa, and they kind of like took a more direct approach rather than having to play balls outside on the wings. That's why you didn't see much of Grant Robinson or Carter Manley moving up the way they did up and down the pitch like they did the first time against San Antonio. However, now that we're playing back on a regular pitch and not a sandbox, I would fully expect that Carter Manley and Grant Robinson to go back and forth. However, I just didn't like the fact that Robinson hobbled off the field late in the match. So that's something to keep an eye on. Another thing to keep an eye on is will Toros fans see back Juan David Cabezas? This was the second game that he missed with the Toros, and the Toros are now 1-1, with him, without him actually in the lineup.
Right, about to say they're 2-0 with him. Yeah,
exactly. So that's kind of like a little bit of the riddles that we have for this week. Will we or will we not see Juan David Cabezas?
Yeah, we have a lot of injuries as well, so we are right in that same boat. If we see certain players or if we don't see, and we are getting pretty close to double-digit injuries on our roster, which is insane for this early in the season. So that's.
Do you guys have a hospital sponsor that you guys need to plug there?
This isn't the Scorpions where we had
good Lord. This injury timeout's brought to you by oh God, that was corner store corner kick.
I will though. I'd still miss the corner store the printing on where they have the players come in and out of. I thought that was awesome. But
that was terrible. Like they're going in for a Slim Jim and a Gatorade.
HEB Park doesn't have that.
No.
It's all underneath their stadium, and
that's a high school football field. They just have their nacho cheese and everything.
Yeah, we have a little bit more than that. I mean, their basket of burger and fries with the oversized drink. That's probably the best deal for the buck there.
There you go.
I heard the nachos are pretty good down there as well. I was talking to
bad.
Johnny, Johnny made the comment of, best food in RGV. And I was like, well, if that's the best food in RGV, there's problems. And he's like, I meant to say stadium wise, for that here, which I've been down to HEB Park. I'll admit,
yes.
Their concessions are very good.
Well, if the games weren't on Sunday, maybe I would.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, exactly.
I keep waiting for San Antonio to say, hey, we're going to change the game to Sunday, but
no,
they didn't do that because I do know.
I kind of wish I would be going, but since I'm starting a new job training this week, I don't know if I can just slide that in the back door and take the bus up there.
Yeah, fair.
So, but so series is tied. Everybody's back level. There's 3 matches left. I think the next 2 are here in San Antonio before the final one down in RGV. Rafa, how do you see San Antonio coming out different against RGV this time compared to last time? I know we're going to have Nathan back, assuming we're going to have Nathan back, barring an injury. He was on a red card the last time. Injuries is still a focus, possibly with Gleedle, being out. Jose, Gleedle's the one that worries me. I'm not saying Jose is not important, but I think we've got enough weapons around that could fill in the spots for Jose. So, your thoughts on how SAFC sets up for this match against RGV this time?
I think this game we set the tempo. I think we allowed RGV to play their game. I think we need to set our tempo, play our game, open it up. Really, I think press a little bit more, but the main thing is keeping our shape, especially on the back line. If we can keep our shape in the back line, not be like a 80-degree angle or like a protractor.
Just a wonky lopsided formation like we had in the Valley.
Yeah, that was great. If we can keep our shape like we did the last game, which we did an excellent job, we should be fine. I think we'll pull out this one, and then add in Jordan Perusa in the mix. I'm sure he's going to be hungry for this game too, to score some more goals after this showing from the first game.
Your thoughts, Royce, on what we're probably going to see different from down at HEB Park to Toyota Field?
Well, I think how we played against the Birmingham Legion, really was a direct result of what happened in RGV. Birmingham came out in a very similar 4-2-3-1. What was kind of surprising is they had zero width, though. We'll see. We'll see what kind of width. We'll see what happens whenever RGV provides width, because I'm pretty confident they are. They do like to use their space very well. But really, the 3-4-3 that we implemented really was a direct result from what happened in RGV. It gave us a lot of width on defense. It gave us width in distribution. And as far as Rafa talking about us being on the front foot, I just don't think that's our game. I think we want the other team to possess, and we want to press the bejesus out of them and counter on them. And we did that. We've done that pretty much every game. I don't think we've led any game that we've played in possession. And I think that's why.
No, but the big difference is the passing. First, in the match against RGV, they were less than 50% in the first half. Against Birmingham, they were closer to mid 60s, which it's still below average from where they should be.
Yep.
But that 15% makes a huge difference because number one, you're not turning the ball over in your side of the pitch and under so much constant pressure. And this game ended 62-37. So very, but when you looked at the halftime, it was actually, San Antonio was mid 40s on possession.
You have to. I was going to say you have to take into account the last 20 minutes. It was after the 80th.
Very heavily weighted.
It was very heavily weighted towards Birmingham because they took off one of their center defensive midfielders, and they put on a right winger to do a very similar thing that RGV did, was attack our left side. And we bent, but we didn't break. Lima did a great job out there. Doyle, Benton didn't break. And they actually did a really good job out there. PC helped them out a lot over there and also stayed strong in the middle. That was a really good performance on all aspects of the field for SAFC.
But one of the things that you mentioned about the press and the reason why I like doing the press, because we did it especially the first half. What did you notice about the Birmingham defense as far as passing? There were very bad passes, and a lot of them ended up. So that's why I'm very, especially like I said, I know a lot about the 3-4-3.
Yep.
You want to press, especially your three forwards, and that's the main reason why you do that, because every time they could pass the ball, they gave up. They were looking for Flaming. That ball went out of bounds. Guess what? We ended up position, and we took advantage of that.
And I'm countered
part of that. Yeah.
We countered very well in that match. And honestly, like I said, it should have been 3-1, 4-1. If it weren't some unfortunate finishing. But that, like I said, that formation and exactly how they played was a direct result of what happened against RGV. And basically, I'm sure what Alan Marcina said was, this is RGV part 2. Show me you learned your lessons. And they did. And so this weekend is technically part 2, but it's really going to be RGV part 3 in a row. You're going to basically play the same team 3 times in a row. Show me what you got.
Ray, what kind of changes do you expect for RGV, especially with Emo getting the red card and going to be missing the game? Who's going to, because from my understanding, he's been pretty solid, and when I've watched him, he's been pretty impressive for RGV up front.
Well, I can tell you this much. Assuming that Gret Robinson is out, that's already one change you're going to have to make. And I would probably put Adrian Veta on that side. But I would keep Pimentel, Dispe, and Manley probably in that same in that back line with Veta and Derek, of course, in between the pipes. In the midfield, keep it the same with Rodrigo Lopez, James Murphy, Wan Kuzain. Up front, I would probably be inclined to put in Christian Sorto replacing Amo and giving Juan Carlos Soca his first start of the season alongside with John Henry Sanchez, who a lot of people confused with Vicente Sanchez. And I'm all like, no. John Henry Sanchez, not Vicente Sanchez. The other Vicente wears 11.
Yeah, he's not the dude walking around with a cane. Yeah,
and he didn't play against
Oh.
RGV either. Or pardon me,
No.
He didn't play against El Paso. All right.
No, he was in the bench. Yeah, he was in the bench and being the assistant coach role this time around.
Do you think he'll mainly because? And I know he was brought in that dual role of player coach. Do you anticipate him being mainly played at home and then rested on the road, or do you think it'll vary on the opponent?
Well, I just think it's going to be one of those things if the doctor's hospital at Renaissance injury list starts to pile up. That's about the only way you'll get to see him start and on the road. But I solely expect him to be a home player type thing.
So that's you guys as Latan. He's just going to do home games and no turf games.
Yeah, something like that. You could be on to something. But I'm just
who is the player for Phoenix? Drogba. He's
exactly.
He's the RGV's Drogba of.
There you go.
You as an away fan, you want to see him just because the history, the legend, and what he's brought to the game overall. But and I think San Antonio is probably the one place where you may see him because it's a 4-hour drive, 5-hour drive.
It's he can sleep in his bed, and it's a good turf field, so he's not going to get hurt for sure.
Yeah. I mean, now not that there isn't any more sand to be picked around with.
Hey, there's a reason why we started later is to let San Antonio's field to grow in, so that way it has that nice natural grass.
I know. What are we, El Paso? Come on.
No, you guys aren't El Paso. They have
Birmingham's the one that took the mantle this year, where they had to play at Legion Field because their pitch was so poor.
Yeah, Birmingham literally had to change fields because the original field that they're supposed to play on is a sand pit, literally a sand pit, worse than what SAFC was. If you go back and you watch the game on ESPN Plus
against Indy,
it's like they're actually playing.
It's like the game
beach
versus
soccer,
like the beach soccer. What do they call it?
Beach soccer.
Yeah, beach soccer.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I was thinking
it's not futsal.
Futsal. There you go.
Futsal's
in the
inside.
gym. Yeah, futsal's in the gym. That's right. Yep.
Playa, as they call it in Spanish.
There you go.
Fut playa. I just gotta ask you guys this for a little bit.
Go ahead.
With the addition of Perusa, how does that change you guys offensively? Do you guys stick with the 3-striker system? Do you guys use 2 to start a game? How does that change it up for you guys a little bit now?
So what we did in this past game is we had basically we started in a 3-4-1-2 just about. Basically a typical number 10 was Jose Gallegos, and he would get the ball and he would dribble and he would distribute to Nathan out wide and Patino out wide as well. Patino on the right, Nathan on the left. Whenever Gallegos went off and basically Perusa came on, he slotted out on the left, and he was kind of playing a mirrored role to what Patino did, and we just had somebody distribute in the middle. So basically what that does, instead of the 4-4-2, you saw us in the 4-4-2 that we started the season out with. We just had 2 defensive midfielders, and we had the wing. We tried to attack wide, and it was too, I mean, you saw what happened. It was too separated. We really never got traction that way. We're too worried about defending and filling holes to actually pay attention to attack. Now that we have that 3-4-1-2, we have 3 guys that are attacking, and they are damn good. So you could basically do exactly what I wanted in the beginning of the season. Was a very Liverpool setup almost. Not the exact same formation, but similar, to where you have a lot of width. You defend really well, but you send these 3 amazing players for the league just to go attack and just to go embarrass people. So like Nathan, Gallegos, Patino, Perusa, whichever 3 start are kind of like our Mane, Firmino, and
Salah.
Salah. Yeah. So
We're actually taking a page from Atalanta from Serie A. That's what they do. They sucker you in, and then
they counter really hard. It's very much like at Atlanta and Dortmund whenever they were under Klopp, and Liverpool with the gegenpress. Basically, we gegenpress. And now that we have one of the things we did notice was that Marcina and the coaching staff were talking to our wingbacks a lot because they weren't 100% sure on their assignments. And once they got that, it was the back line was fine. It's solid. We'll get the ball. We'll take it from them. And then we just put it up, give it to those 3. And those 3 wreaked havoc the entire game. It was, if you take a minute to watch the first minute of the game, you'll understand it. The ball gets boggled up in our 7 defenders, basically, and midfielders. It goes up, and then our 3 offensive players just ticky-tack it around, and it ends up in the back of the net. That's what happened with our first goal in the first minute was that. It wasn't a Lucho Solniak special. It was a actual team play, though. It was awesome.
I think for this week, I think I'm hoping that we see the Rio Grande Valley winning streak of old, where they're just going to use you down the flanks and try to get Kuzain going once again, and hopefully in that number 10 spot, and hopefully get Juan Carlos Azocar a little bit let loose on that either left or right side, because with ammo not being available, I would probably hope that Sorto would take that top striker spot. That's just me giving a more general prediction there as far as a lineup would be concerned. I wouldn't dare run out to use Alexis Cerrito, only because I feel like he's at a fresh pair of legs that Wilmer could use in the second half to kind of wreak havoc on the San Antonio defense.
That's what I was going to ask. I figured Cerritos would be the first choice to be a replacement striker, just because he's a big dude. Like I said, he's the new. Again, I'm forgetting his name. Starts with a T from last season. He's the new that guy.
Tyberson.
Tyberson. Yeah, he's the new Tyberson. So I figured that would be an easy switch. Put him as a number 9. But you're right. That dude is fast and he runs a lot, and that would be a good sub late in. That's a very good point. They'll just get since D-Spay has been everywhere on the field, maybe they'll just put him up as top.
D-Spay's natural position. D-Spay's been a natural center back, but in this game versus El Paso, it's like if one guy was going to get the man of the match for the Toros, it was going to be him because he was all over the place.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Just put him as the number 9. He's almost there anyway. So yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
To me, the reason why this match is so important, and this goes for both teams. The Mountain Division, you can already kind of see it shaping up to be a 4-team race with El Paso, New Mexico United, San Antonio, and RGV. I think Colorado Springs losing their home opener. I think they're better than Real Monarchs and Austin Bold.
Did you guys see what New Mexico United was tweeting at them? That was so unfortunate. Good Lord. Oh.
But to me,
go ahead, Royce. Bring it up.
No, it was.
You're the co-host of this show. Oh my Lord!
I'm sorry. It was bad. I'm gonna let it go at that because it was.
So check New Mexico United Twitter, Royce. But to me, New Mexico United, I think they get Loudoun United at home. El Paso goes on the road to Sporting Kansas City 2. So you figure both of those should be 3 points.
Yeah.
And with games in hand, they're already neck and neck with San Antonio and RGV. The season series is 6-5-6 for that here. So in I know it seems kind of crazy to say, in game 5, I think this is a very important game between San Antonio and RGV. I know there's 2 more matches. One, in June 16th, or no, not June 16th. Where is it? June. It's just after that here. June 19th. For that here. It's an important match for both teams. So, if you're part of the Stampede and you're coming up, please come out to the tailgates. If you have the availability to get a ticket, because let's be honest, tickets may be harder to get right now just because
very limited because of
they did sell out
capacity.
They are very limited for that here. Unlike other teams, they haven't opened it up to 100%. I think we all expect come the January 3rd game,
July 3rd
or July 3rd. Pardon me, I always get that wrong. July 3rd game that we'll be back to 100%. But chips are on the line here. Ray, if you were to kind of, not necessarily pick a winner, but how do you see this game going? For RGV, what do they have to do to win? And then we'll go to Royce and Rafa. What does SAFC have to do to win?
For RGV to win this game, try to reestablish themselves the way they were before falling to El Paso, which means open it up, use your flank guys, like your Carter Manleys of the world, and whoever takes up Grant Robinson's spot if he indeed is injured. That's one. Number 2, try to get Juan Carlos Azocar going, because that was a way at the tail end of last season. He got himself going. Like, the younger players were able to find him and feed off of his high energy. And then B, try to limit yourselves in the back. Diaz-Bed was kind of like that one adventurous guy that kept going up the pitch, trying to help generate some offense for the Toros, because Wilmer decided to change things on the road. And now, since they're finally playing in a normal soccer pitch, I kind of expect for him to kind of reset it a little bit and have that normal soccer freedom the way they were used to before falling to El Paso.
Rafa, your thoughts on how SAFC is to be able to beat RGV?
I think learning from the last game, you have to set the tone of the game. That's number 1, and get ahead. I think we play better ahead than behind. And like I said, I think give credit. RGV can hold leads. They've done it for their wins. So getting a league is important, but also better passing. You got to, get into the 60s, 60%, 50, 60 percentile. You have to be accurate with that. And then also depends who plays in the game too. Hopefully the plane does come back, and I think the factors I think Jordan's going to be a factor in this game. I don't think there's someone in RGV that can handle him if he comes into the game. He's, all that experience he has, and like I said, he's one of those players that really is a game changer, and this causes a lot of problems. And then also, Nathan's another player. He didn't play the last game, and he's going to play this game. So there's 2 players right there that is going to be key, especially for the offense. I think Patino looked lost the last game. We just had guys out of place up front that should have been playing in those positions. This is going to be a total different thing. And then I think having the SAFC crowd, that's going to be a big difference too. I think the crowd's going to be give them energy. Every rivalry game is it just brings a lot more liveliness. So I think those are the feed off of that, and that's going to help you get you the 3 points on Saturday.
Royce, your thoughts?
I think it's going to be a stalemate, to be honest with you. I mean, RGV, if you really look at brass tacks, what happened in that game against El Paso, they really didn't let a lot through. And the same thing with El Paso. El Paso really didn't let a lot through. There weren't a lot of clear-cut chances. Yes, there were some corners for El Paso, but I mean, nothing through the run of play that really showed that one side was much better than the other, or one side was a lot more deserving of the win. I think that should have been a 0-0 stalemate had it not been for Lucho Soniak, which that's kind of what he gets paid to do in El Paso. SAFC has more width, they have more defensive stability, and they have a lot better specific instructions. The 3-4-3 is a lot better suited for them. And that 4-2-3-1, we'll see what happens. I'm going to predict a 0-0 tie, and I think it's just going to be a stalemate. It's going to be nasty. It's just going to be one of those brutal games. I will say whoever scores first is going to win. Whoever scores first is going to win that match. If anybody scores, I don't think anybody will. But it'll be very interesting to see what RGV does to try to replace Ammo. Because they don't, like we were talking, they don't really have a set striker unless Sanchez starts, which is unlikely. And he may come in at the very end of the match to try to steal one, which RGV likes to try to do. So we'll see what happens there. But I really think most of this match is going to be a defensive stalemate, and I like your thinking, Robert. But I think it's going to be a defensive stalemate, and it's just going to be a really rough and physical match.
So I think it'll be rough and physical. There will be goals in this game. I think with the San Antonio talent, the pressing style, there will be goals, and as we saw against Legion, San Antonio will typically cough one up as well. Along those lines. Thank you, Ray, for stopping in. Much appreciated here for that here. So, like I said, before the last match, I thought San Antonio was just going to run over them for that here. Actually, Ray, hop back in.
Oh, sorry, guys.
We were already saying thank you.
That's all right.
Peace.
I don't need this anymore.
Ray's like, I don't want to hear what Harry has to say. But no, I think it'll be close. But I do think, unlike you, Royce, I do think that there will be goals scored. And I could see this being kind of like last week here, where it's a 2-1. Game's probably a little bit closer than what the score even seems like, and I know 2-1 doesn't seem like a thing there, but I do think San Antonio will be in control of this game, kind of like what they did against Legion. I think you guys are spot on where the Legion kind of was a prep for RGV. The only bad thing is now RGV has that on tape to be able to kind of look, hey, how do we make some changes? But also
the correct answer is you just surrender from the beginning. Raise the white flag if you're RGV. Don't even play the match. We'll call it 3-0 and done deal. That's fine.
Hey, we're not the Michigan Stars. Come on, we'll give RGV credit. They're not the Michigan Stars that doesn't want to go play Cal United because of bad calls. So
they're not the New York Cosmos for the last 5 years. Yeah,
whatever. At least my team didn't start in the NASL.
Hey, I love the NASL, man.
NASL was fun.
That was great times, dude.
It was fun.
You would have loved NASL.
Yeah.
I know towards the end it got a bad rep.
Yeah.
But early on, it was a fun league, and then the Cosmos came in and
they Cosmosed it up. Basically, what happened was MLS went, let's take 2 of your best teams, and we're going to make them MLS teams, and then just throw the rest away. And then the Cosmos are like, oh, we're the big dog in town. We're going to run this crap right into the ground. And that's exactly what they did.
But, anyways, there's only been 2 scoreless draws in the rivalry of the South Texas Derby.
Yep.
The first one that was played in San Antonio, which ended 0-0. And then the other one that was played in 2018 at HEB Park. So those are your only 2 scoreless draws between the rivalry. So that there will be goals, there will be goals.
That would be
The
a
quote, the quote, the great Yoda. There is another.
So, but final thoughts here, Ray. If you want to hang on for final thoughts and give a final thought, you can here.
Absolutely, I will.
I know I'm going to kick off, and I'm going to let Royce end because unfortunately, there's another somber message here, and I'm going to start out probably somber, but with May, it's what was it? The Military Suicide Month to watch. I forget the exact what they
Military
coded here.
Suicide Awareness Month
here. But mental health, as we've seen in this country, is something that we all deal with, and especially us as men, something that we need to be more open about, be encouraged more to do it. Normally I give a phone number, but since we're talking about vets, if you go to maketheconnection.net, that's maketheconnection.net. They have a lot of good things on their source here, on their site there, where you can, number one, see, like the page I'm looking at has videos of veterans who served, from post 9/11, the desert area, Vietnam, which, my dad unfortunately had depression from, PTSD from Korean War, World War II. So that way you can associate with that, and hopefully, number one, be able to know that you're not alone, especially, being in the military, having served, and unfortunately, if you saw wartime action, seeing the stuff that you've seen, but to be able to kind of figure out ways to help get you out of the hole. But please, if you are, and like I said here, whether it's military, non-military kids, please, talk to somebody. If you need to reach out to me, I'm sure any of us would have a discussion with you if you needed to have a discussion. 100%. There's plenty of people here that will sit down and listen to you and make the time to hear you out and try to help get you on the right path here. Rafa, we'll go with you, and then we'll go to Ray, and then Royce will follow it up.
Just final thought. Like I said, I didn't get my prediction. I think it'll be a 2-1 victory for SAFC. It'll be a close game, like usual, but I think we'll pull this one off. And then my final thought. I know for a lot of the students out there, this is their last week of school, so be safe. Good luck to you guys on your final exams. That way, like I said, you go on to your next grade, and also for the seniors that are graduating, congratulations to all of them, especially our high school athletes. Congratulations! What a great year of high school soccer this year. So kudos to them. And then, like I said, last thing, like I said, hopefully an exciting game Saturday. We'll see you there. Thanks for the Viva night. Hopefully, like I said, we're gonna have another one. That was fun, and love the new jerseys. So kudos to them. Finally, Nike makes a nice jersey. So they're not Adidas, but
great. The checker is great.
Oh yeah, the checker is great. But
the first one with the horizontal black stripes was fantastic. There's been good Nike Let's calm down.
So if we're on the subject of kits, Ray, I'm sorry, the RGV away kits are
brutal.
I don't know what to say, dude.
Look, I'll just say this much about the away kit. It kind of reminiscent of season number 1. The only difference between season 1 and this season is that season 1 didn't even have a sponsor. At least there is a sponsor for this one. So I'm just going to leave it
colors, as that. A design, I would assume you're almost wearing the kit. It's a white shirt.
Yeah. The shirts have not come in from the pro shop yet, so you can't. Not yet. I've not seen them at the pro shop yet, so.
RGV did tease that they have an announcement coming up, as well. I think it was a couple of days, right?
No, it was actually today. It was actually today that they had a little tease.
Right, but the tease of an announcement, May 27th. So. I'll be interested to see kind of what that is. They've got the ocean background.
It is South Padre Island.
It's a Rafa. If you haven't seen it, it's a white T-shirt with the Puma logo. Yeah,
Toros logo, Reliant Energy.
Yeah, Puma
There it
makes
is.
some of the worst jerseys.
I'm surprised it didn't tear because I remember when Puma had Arsenal and those things tore like they were made of butter. Those are
Yeah,
yikes.
that's very reminiscent of season number 1 uniforms when we played on the road.
Oh, so it's a
Except-
throwback.
Yeah, but except our
Hey,
jerseys
but that's
were
the
made
only
by
year they
Nike
made the
back then.
playoffs. To be fair,
That's not
if you're
wrong.
gonna throw back to something in RGV history, you got to go back to the first year. Now they
Not
did
wrong.
also take care of San Antonio FC pretty handily that year as well. So
Shut up, Harry. Shut up.
You crying back there, Royce? Is that rain in the background I hear from you?
Shut up, Ray. There's really no good response to that. Just damn it.
Would you like to call me a wambulance since the Jordan Bennington Blues are out too?
Honestly, I'm a Stars fan. I'm from Missouri, but when I lived in Missouri, it was the Cardinals. The Blues weren't. To me, they weren't that big of a deal. I grew up playing baseball, and then I came to Texas, and I got into hockey. So, I'm a Stars fan. I support the Blues, but I will say
Brett Hall.
Brett Hall.
But he did play for the Stars.
He played for both. He played for
And he
both.
got him a cup.
I know, but he has some
I love
problematic
this hockey
stuff in his
talk all of a
past. But
sudden, boys. I
mean, that's what we do. I'll talk any sport, but no, I will say though, it's San Antonio's own Jordan Bennington because he was a San Antonio Rampage the same
Exactly.
season he won the damn Stanley Cup. He started with San Antonio. He played for like a month. The Blues had their
They had like a hospital for
goaltenders get hurt.
goalies.
Yeah. They had their two goaltenders get hurt. They brought up Bennington, and Bennington was like, "Hey guys, you want to go win the Stanley Cup? We're the worst team in the league. Let's go win the Stanley Cup." And that's what they did. He got hot, and he got hot for 6 months. But that's what happens in hockey, which is it's kind of similar to what can happen in soccer. Is you get a goalie on a hot streak, you're
Let's
not
go.
beating that team. So
hey Royce, did the Stars make the playoffs?
No.
Hey Harry, who beat the Colorado Avalanche in the playoffs last season and went to the Stanley Cup Finals? Was that the Dallas Stars? I believe that was the Dallas Stars.
I can't talk baseball with you because we pay you to take our best players. So
thank you for Nolan Arenado and paying him $50 million to have him play on the Cardinals. That's first place St. Louis Cardinals. Feels good. Anyway,
Ray,
Ray is
Rafa. Well, hold on, Rafa. Did you get your final thought in before we completely hijacked it?
No, that's just final thoughts.
My bad. That was my bad.
Just like I said, we're looking forward to for the game Saturday, and like I said, for all the seniors finishing up, congratulations, especially our student athletes, especially the soccer players. Good luck to you guys.
Ray, your final thought.
My final thoughts. I just hope that this is a very entertaining game. I would like to see RGV win, to take a 2-1 win out with John Henry Sanchez getting the goal, not the old guy Sanchez. I want the young guy to score. I want to add some variety to the scoring now. Have John Henry pot in. Hopefully, Juan Carlos Azócar gets the other one, and we hang on for dear life because. San Antonio being San Antonio, they're going to find a way to score, and I kind of expect a repetition of what happened down here up there, because both have regular playing soccer fields, except for you, El Paso. Shame on you and your baseball diamond.
And Royce, before you start, I do have one more thing that I want to put out there. I want to give a huge shout out to Edson Ochoa. He's ran down in the valley for many years. I don't know if it's been since year one, but
no, he's fourth year, I think.
Fourth year for it here, but he is the RGV reporter for the Striker Texas.
Congratulations, Edson.
Congrats, that's awesome. I know they were looking for one. I didn't know they got Edson. Very nice.
Yeah, so they got Edson.
Very nice.
If you can follow Edson, you can follow him at @Ochoa _8. Also, he does Down in the Valley, and of course, you'll see. I think today was the first day today or yesterday, he had his article up on the Striker Texas. Also on the Striker Texas, late breaking this afternoon. Mark Bay at MCH Bay put out an article that that I've been waiting to come out. Unfortunately, it's been discussed that Jason Johnson, former San Antonio FC player, former Phoenix Rising player, unfortunately said what Junior Fleming said last week to Real Monarchs. A Real Monarchs player. And of course, Austin Bold have yet to confirm. Real Monarchs have filed a report to the league. The league still is yet to make a report, which doesn't look good following last year. So, the Striker Texas with Mark Bay and with Edson, like I said here, and they cover Jonathan Check with SAFC. I forget the guy's name, Rodriguez out in El Paso. And then, of course, you got the MLS teams, but it's a great source for all things Texas. They cover everything from the MLS all the way down to even the high school playoffs. They started to it there. So if you can, I know we're separate from them.
We're competing with them, but we're
competing with them, but awesome. Like I said here, a lot of friends that we have, in the USL, do supply to them and to help the game grow. I'm not afraid to, give them kudos and stuff with regards for that here. So before Royce starts his final thought, any comment on the Austin Bold stuff since I brought it up? I'm hoping just to leave it there.
I guess I'll finish up. I'll do my two final thoughts. Number one final thought is soccer's for everybody. There's no room for that crap. It's this is an equal game for equal people. When you're on that field, you're equal to each other. It doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, you are equal to each other. And that's what soccer should represent, and that's what we all represent. We don't care who you are. We don't care who you love. We don't care, honestly, that's your business. It's what you want to be called. It's not our business. We're all equal, and that's all we should see. We are just competing on the field together, and that's it. That's all it should be. My final thought, though, is once again, our sincerest condolences to the Martinez family and Miguel, who lost his grandmother right after he lost his ex-wife. That's rough, man. Just a rough time. All the love in the world to the Martinez family. Hopefully you get through this period of mourning. We're here for you. If you need anything, just let us know, man.
And unfortunately, that'll be a wrap for this episode here. Thank you for everybody tuning in for here. Thank you to Ray from South Texas Border Sports and down in the Valley. Thank you to Rafa and Royce. It's been a fun one. We'll get to do this again in about a month, just under a month here. So Ray, hopefully we'll have you back on at that time here if your schedule's available. But what's life without goals? And thank you for turning into SA Soccer Roundtable.
See y'all.